Good afternoon, guys. I didn't have a chance to record anything this morning because, as you may or may not know, it's now fall heading toward winter here in Kentucky, which means that 7:30 in the morning, it's very, very dark. So yeah, when I got in the car, I've recorded at night before in here with the overhead lights on, but it's always just safer to not do it. And I mean, as you guys have told me repeatedly, it's safer to just not vlog in the car. But for the sake of time, this is about the only time that it's convenient. So I will probably be investing in a dash mount sometime in the very near future for this. But anyway, back to the topics at hand. I had the live show last night, had a good time, played some Urban Terror after that, and of course that was fun. I'd like to thank you guys for all of the constructive and some not so constructive comments on the Friday vlog about the new MIDI keyboard. Yeah, the fail was majorly on my part, but in all honesty, the salesman kind of sold me a lie. It's a great keyboard. It is a wonderful performance device, and as far as the MIDI output, as long as the software supports it, it runs very nicely. I actually did some testing with LMMS. Once I found some good sound fonts to use that were all Creative Commons or completely free licensed, I had some great results. The problem that I'm having with LMMS, and maybe you guys can help out with this, for some reason, if I use any of the plugins in LMMS aside from Zen Add Sub FX, my sustain pedal will not work, meaning that I can't have sustained notes. That makes playing using LMMS not doable, because basically the stuff that I'm playing, I have to use the sustain pedal for the grand majority of it. But other than that, I did some testing in FL Studio using Wine. There was a little bit of noticeable audio delay, but for just capturing purposes, it was beautiful. I might include a sample on this, I might not. I actually took I don't know if you've heard of it or not, I mentioned it to somebody expecting to get laughed at about it, but that person had no idea who I was talking about. Yanni is a new age pianist that I used to play some of his stuff back when I was in high school, back in like 1997, 98, whatever. But I found a book of his, my parents actually brought it to me, and I played one of his pieces just like I played it yesterday, so apparently you don't lose all that much, and I captured a little bit of it that I might include. But other than that, you may or may not know, this week is Ubuntu Developer Summit, and that's in Orlando, Florida, so I'm probably going to be doing a couple of news videos just related to that, and then the Friday news video. So, I mean, it depends on what all news is actually covered in it. You probably will have seen it by now because I'm going to try to do one tonight. There were a couple of major things talked about at the UDS today, including Ubuntu 11.04 is going to be using the Unity interface by default. What? What the crap? Yeah, they just came up with the Unity interface. They are just trying to implement it in Ubuntu 10.10. A lot of people have complained about it and don't like it because it doesn't perform terribly well. So they're going to make it the default now. They're going to be tweaking it a lot to make it work better on the desktop, and they're going to allow a lot more customizability with it, which is what I've been asking for this whole time. But I don't know. The biggest thing that I think might help them, and it might hurt them actually, is they're moving from the Mutter interface, the Mutter framework, whatever you call it, to Compiz as the back end. And hopefully that will work out well for them. But for now, I'm going to go home and have some lunch, and maybe try to make a video that I've been talking about all weekend. And I will talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to have to stop saying that I'm going to be making videos over lunch, because, like I've said before, there is just no time. That said, the time between when I get off work and when I go pick up my son, I do have plenty of time usually to make one video. I'm also going to have to start using the time later in the evenings a little bit more effectively, a little more efficiently, after my son goes to bed. Especially if I'm planning to do any more work with regard to music, because that's about the only time I've got free during the day. So yeah. Anyway, I'm heading back to work now. I'm going to try to... This page that I told you guys about that I've been working on, I am so close to having it done, and I have a feeling I'm going to hand it to the guy that it's actually for, and he's going to say, but I don't want it this way, I want it that way, and whatever. At that point, it's just a matter of making it look different. Having the content out there is really what's important. Anyway, like I said, heading back to work, going to try to do the videos I talked about this afternoon. Hopefully there'll be some more good news from the Ubuntu Developer Summit, because there's been a lot of news out of it so far, and I hope that it keeps coming, because, you know, the more that it produces, the more content I get to talk about on This Week in Linux, especially if I decide to do multiple news videos, which I'm already planning for. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys in another little bit. Well, that was a stroke of luck and a bit of a sign of what a small world we actually live in. I was turning into the area I live in, and there was a lady sitting in somebody's driveway about 100 yards from my house, maybe less. And she waved, and I waved back. You know, it's a place where people just wave at each other. It's Kentucky. But then she started waving like she wanted me to stop. She was holding a baby. I was concerned, so I stopped. It turns out it's a lady I used to work with whose car had died. Her battery had died. So I stopped and I jumped her battery for her and got her back on the road so she could pick up her other son. Just like I said, small world to be able to run into somebody that you didn't even know lived 100 yards away from you and help them to finish up their errands for the day. While we're at it, while we're talking here for a second, I thought I'd show you the little bit of changes I've made to my basement. Some people commented on my latest video about the live show. I moved some stuff around. Not sure what you guys think about it. Basically, there's the bookshelf that was there before. Moved it over just a little bit. There is my desk. It's now turned sideways against the wall. Bit of a cord mess under there, but that will I'll deal with that when I have time. My little pull-out set of drawers. I could actually put a microphone on that, and that's the intention. The lights are just sort of up and sitting there for the moment. I'm moving them around as necessary. And the keyboard. And the main reason for this move was to get the keyboard closer to the computer so that I can run the USB cable directly from one to the other. Well, that was a moderately successful hour. Once I got home and was sitting there talking to you guys before, I drank a Red Bull very quickly and wrote up an outline, a brief outline, meaning like titles, for a 6-video series that I'm going to try to do. The videos that I was telling you about, the one that I've had planned for a little while, it's actually a 6 to 7 part series that I'm going to try to do all at once. Don't worry, they're all going to be short videos, hopefully within a minute, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Just little short tutorial type things, meaning they shouldn't take terribly long to put together, but they should all be separate. That way, if you don't want to sit there and load all of this video, you don't have to. But anyway, I'm going to go pick up my son now. I'm going to try to go back and shoot the rest of them. I may have to reshoot the second one I did just because I didn't put enough thought into the audio when I was creating it, and it didn't feel like it flowed terribly well. So maybe I'll just start it over and try to simplify it a little bit. It probably was a 10 to 15 minute video, and I want it to be, like I said, 2 to 3 minutes of just very quick, very simple tutorials. So anyway, going to get my son now. The Red Bull, as you can probably tell, is definitely affecting me a little bit. So I'll be back in a bit. I feel like I had a semi-productive evening. I ended up watching over most of the Ubuntu Developer Summit keynote from Mark Shuttleworth. I watched the entire one from John O'Bacon. The John O'Bacon one was mainly what I expected. It was just, you know, introductory. Here's what's going to be going on. Here's where you go to find things. Here's what you do if you want to take notes for things. Things like that. The Mark Shuttleworth one had a bunch of great info. You will hopefully have seen that by the time this video is up. I'm uploading the video for the second time now. YouTube's apparently got a bit of a processing issue. I watched a Toby Turner vlog earlier where he said his his cute win fail video that was 100 megs in size took 5 hours and still hadn't processed. I got mine uploaded. It took about a half an hour. Processing was not even starting, so I pulled it down and started to re-upload, and it's actually processing while it's uploading, which is the way it's supposed to go. Hopefully another 20 minutes or so it will be up, which is pretty awesome. Problem is it's eating my entire connection to upload. Not a big deal though. Other than that, I'm definitely going to try to do UDS coverage every day if there's something big that happens. If there's not, I'm not even going to worry about it. But in addition, I'm working on the tutorials I mentioned before. I got the part 1 of that finished, and part 2, the screencast is rendered. It turned out it was only about 5.5 or 6 minutes, so that one I should be able to turn into part 2. So 5 more parts? 6? I don't know how many. There's so many parts to this, and the good thing is the way that I'm doing it, I can expand upon it with little to no problem. So very cool there. But anyway, I'm going to get back to the IRC channel, the TeamSpeak server, getting my video uploaded. So you guys have a great night. I'm going to go to bed soon. Later.